We would like to say thank you first and welcome in Kentucky Derby winning trainer, Preakness winning trainer, California Chromes trainer, Art Sherman for joining us today. Art Sherman, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Oh, fine. How are you guys?
Doing well. Want to ask you about California Chrome. How did he come out of his big race in the Classic, and what went into the decision here going to the turf for the Hollywood Derby perhaps in a couple of weeks?
Well, he came out of his race really great. You know, I was over there Monday, and he was bucking and playing, and we're going to, you know, in the back of our mind now that he's going to be a 4-year-old in race, I always wanted to try him on the grass. And I thought, you know, since Horse of the Year is on tap, and it would be a big feather in his cap if he could win on a grade 1 again, you know, on a different surface. And I'm going to work him on the 23rd on the grass. Victor will work him, and that'll make my final decision, you know, whether to run him on the Hollywood Derby. I want to first see how he handles the grass. And the grass course has been great this year, this coming week here at Del Mar, so I thought it was an opportune time to do it.
Did you feel that if he didn't race again this year, he didn't have enough to get the votes that it would take to be Horse of the Year?
You know, it's going to be very close. You know what I mean? I thought, well, you know, between Byron and him being that close in money and money and grade 1 wins, it's not only that, you know what I mean? I think down deep it was going to be very close anyhow. And I would love to see him run on the grass, you know, and this is the end of the year, and we've got to thinking about of all the options you'll have next year. So I thought this would be a perfect time to try him on the grass.
And Art, scheduling to work him on the 23rd. Tell us a bit more about the plan for the work. How far and what exactly are you looking from him?
Probably just go a half a mile with him. Don't forget, he's just coming off a 1.25 race, and this race is 1 1/8 on the grass. I don't have to do too much with him. You know, he'll came out of that race. He'll be double fit and tough to come back going 1 1/8. You know, I'm just going to be a maintenance work, nothing real fancy, just more or less just to see how he handles the grass and how we sell to Victor.
Now, if he does indeed take to the grass and you go in this race and you do very well in the Hollywood Derby, then next year you have options to continue on with him in the turf or race in the main track, or would you kind of go back and forth between the two surfaces?
Well, it just depends, and you know, I just need to try him on the grass one time for my own benefit, and gives me another opportunity just to see how his grass race will be. You know, when you got a horse that could be as versatile as him, if he could go on the grass, boy, that's a big factor for all over the country.
Now, Victor's been aboard for him for his last, well, actually quite a few starts. He was aboard for him in that win over the cushion track at Betfair Hollywood. He's been aboard for all of his victories on the dirt as well. Have you and Victor ever talked about it, and Victor kind of say, yeah, let's get him on there if we can as soon as possible?
Well, we talked about it. I talked about it, especially now that I know he's going to race for next year. You know, he's kind of up in the air, you know, that he was. And now that the owners made a decision to run him as a 4-year-old, it puts a whole new, you know, perspective on his future. You know, it's as a stallion, and you know, it'd be great if he could win on the grass. It would just be another dimension that we can think about, you know.
You've done such a nice job, and your son Steve and the exercise rider Willie Delgado, you guys have been such a great team from start to finish. It's been great watching him win the Kentucky Derby, winning the Preakness. What was your thoughts coming down the stretch in the Breeders' Cup Classic? I was thinking that you might be able to get the whole ball of wax.
Well, I did too. And the next jump, he's ahead in front, you know, after the wire. He made one more big lunge. And I really thought if I could have gotten a little bit more out of him in the parks and got a better race under him, I think it would have been no doubt in my mind he could have won that race.
Well, Art, we do want to say thanks for coming on and spending some time with us this morning. And we're looking forward to not only the workout on the 23rd, but perhaps that next start in the Hollywood Derby.
Thank you. I appreciate that.